Today I've got one more 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery for you. This one is a budget priced battery that claims to have low temperature cutoff. Let's see if it does. What's up everybody, my name is Dan, welcome to Freely Roaming. So I've been in Southern California for a few weeks now, and since I'm usually traveling and on the go, it's really difficult for me to get products like this in for review. So I've been taking this opportunity to get a lot of battery reviews in for you guys. So this is I believe the 5th battery that I reviewed this month so far. And it is going to be the last one because we're going to hit the road again soon. After this video, I'm going to show you guys all 5. What's cool about these 5 batteries that I reviewed is that each one of them serves a specific purpose, and each one of them has a specific audience that it's going after. So I think it's a good, well-rounded set of batteries, going all the way from the very budget-friendly to the higher-end batteries, and also goes full circle to the DIY world. This is the 3rd of the 100 amp hour batteries that I've got in for review. This one is from a company called Unowix. They are a startup in Southern California, and they reached out to me asking me to review this battery. And I looked at their website and I thought they put out a pretty interesting product. So I thought, you know what, this will fit perfectly into my 5 battery series. From what I can tell, this is their only product. And they've only been around for a couple of months as of today, which is the end of June 2022. And this one is called the Unowix Defender X100. I guess the X100 denotes that it's a 100 amp hour battery. I don't know a lot about them, but from what I can tell by the way it looks and its weight, it initially just seemed like a fairly typical Chinese-made 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery like the ones I reviewed before. But one thing jumped out at me when I looked at their website. This is priced at $499, which is about $100 more than other batteries that it's competing against. So I thought there must be something unique about this one. And the more that I research on the product itself, the more that I realize they actually have a couple of things that differentiate itself from the other batteries that look like this. For it to cost 25% more, this battery claims to have cold temperature charging protection. So that is not typical of batteries in this price range. And also on their product page, it claims to have the ability to build up to a 4S, 4P configuration using 16 cells, just like this. That's similar to the premium battery that I reviewed recently by Power Queen. Both of these point to a sign that Unowix is actually using a different BMS in this unit than the other clones that look like this. Another unique thing about this battery that might be worth the $499 price is that it offers a 10-year warranty. That's more than double the usual 3 to 5 year warranties that are offered by other competitors. It seems to me that it's possible that this is not actually just a clone, but rather Unowix's own design with a different BMS that actually has more features. They just happen to be using the same enclosure as the other 100 amp hour batteries on the market. Just by testing this for the last couple of days, there is no Bluetooth connectivity that I can tell, so I'm unable to find out more details about the BMS that it actually uses. So I can't tell if it actually has a thermal resistor for cold temperature protection. Rather than cutting the battery inside to look at the BMS to see if it has cold temperature protection, I used a more conventional method by sticking this entire battery inside a freezer. It also helps to preserve the battery so someone else can actually use this battery again later. Since I live in a van, I'll be using my Domestic CFX3 power cooler to do this test. Alright, so I cleared out this side of the fridge, and this battery fits in there pretty nicely. Takes up a little more than half the width and about 2/3 of the height. So I'm gonna close it. And that's the fridge side, which is normally 36 degrees. I'm going to set that to 18. I'll come back in an hour or so to see if it's reached that temperature. Alright, so this is down to 21 degrees in here now. I've got the charger connected to the battery. I'm going to leave it in here. And then I'm going to turn on AC power, see what happens. It's charging. It is still charging. Maybe it's not cold enough, but it is still charging. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to give it another half an hour and I'll try it again. If that still doesn't trigger low temp cutoff, I'm going to call this test a fail. Alright, so it's been about a half an hour. We're still at 21 degrees Fahrenheit in the fridge. And I've got the app going on now, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in our charger one more time. Okay, there it is, plugged in. It's still charging. And this battery is really cold. Well, that's unfortunate, but I will ask the company about it to see, if there's something that I'm not doing correctly, or if there's a different setting. But it really should be, the low temp charging protection really should have tripped. So I'm not going to risk damaging this battery by continuing to charge it. So there you go. Unfortunately, I could not get the cold temperature disconnect to work. It could be the fact that it actually doesn't have it, or it could be the fact that this might be defective. And the last one is that the settings are set in such a way that I just didn't get this thing cold enough. But I wasn't really willing to risk damaging this battery further by sticking it in a deep freeze. It was in minus 21 Fahrenheit, which I believe was cold enough. It was in there for a couple of hours. And when I took it out, the battery outside was, the water was condensing on it. So I know that it got cold enough. It just never got to the point where the battery stopped charging, which is unfortunate. I will contact Unowix and ask them about their cold temperature charging protection to try to get an answer about that feature. And I will leave that in the comments below when I hear back. And as usual, I did a capacity test to see if this lives up to the 100 amp hour rating. So far so good. We're 2 hours in of this test. 20.58 amp hours, 265.32 watt hours at a 0.1 C rate. 3 hours and 25 minutes, 34.53 amp hours. Still at 12.7 volts. 4 hours or 5 hours into the test. We're at just about the halfway point. Still at 12.7 volts. Alright, we're getting close. 95.61 amp hours. 1217.15 watt hours. Probably about a half an hour to go. We're down to 12.3 volts. There it is, 100 amp hours. A little bit more to go for the watt hours. But we're 2 minutes shy of our 10-hour test. And we're 11.9 volts. That means we're going to go for a little while yet. Well, I miss where the battery cutoff happened, but we got 104.05 amp hours, 13.16 watt hours. And it lasted 10 hours and 21 minutes and 28 seconds. So there you go. This battery did pass the capacity test. And one of the things that I haven't shown you guys before is what I use to charge. What I do is I try to simulate a solar charging condition, which is what most people will use. So I use a MPPT Victron charge controller. This is a 10 amp charge controller. And what I've done is that I've taken a 24 volt power supply. What's cool about this rig is that not only does it simulate a solar charging condition, it is also compatible with both 240 volt AC and 110 volt AC. Being that I was in Europe for the last 4 years, I was able to use this for a lot of my AC charging situations. And also now I'm back in the US, I can just get an adapter and it will work with 110 AC as well. So this rig is actually pretty cool, and I just have it set up to go to a XT60 connector, so I can quickly disconnect this little pigtail lead and put the lugs on any battery that I'm trying to charge. And I can also use my Victron Connect app to monitor all of its conditions. That to me is really valuable, and it's also really compact in size, and I don't have to have a whole bench worth of tools just to do some testing. So what do I think about this battery? Well, I think this battery has a lot of promise. I really wish that the cold temperature disconnect worked, and perhaps I just have a bad unit, or perhaps, you know, there's still some work involved from Unowix, being that they are a startup. They're starting to come out with products that are for the RV industry. If you guys are interested, I'll put a link to their website below and also to this product page so you can do some research yourself. If you have any other questions about this product or anything related to lithium iron phosphate batteries or solar, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.